In 2016, the Iowa-based organization Food Democracy Now! Tied up with the Detox project to release a groundbreaking report about the weed killer glyphosate. You might know it better as the active ingredient in Monsanto's Roundup, the most widely used weed killer in the history of food and agriculture. The collaboration resulted in the report titled Glyphosate, Unsafe on Any Plate, Food Testing Results and Scientific Reasons for Concern, which we will tackle today. Let's start with some staggering numbers. Glyphosate is sprayed on more than 175 million acres of farmland in the United States alone, and globally that number skyrockets to over 440 million acres. This widespread use is largely due to the adoption of genetically engineered crops designed to withstand the herbicide. These Roundup Ready crops like corn, soybeans, and cotton have transformed the way we farm, but at what cost? Scientific studies are raising red flags. We're talking about potential harm to human health at ultra-low levels of glyphosate, as low as 0.1 parts per billion, ppb. To put that in perspective, popular foods tested for glyphosate showed levels ranging from 289.47 ppb to a whopping 1,125.3 ppb. Yes, you heard that right. Iconic products like original Cheerios were found to have levels up to 1,125.3 ppb. And it's not just Cheerios, Oreos, Doritos, Ritz Crackers. These are just a few of the 29 foods tested that showed high levels of glyphosate. Now you might be wondering how this is allowed. Well, U.S. regulators currently permit a daily intake of glyphosate residue that is significantly higher than what's considered safe in other parts of the world. The acceptable daily intake limit in the U.S. is set at 1.75 milligrams per kilogram of body weight per day, compared to the more cautious 0.3 limit in the European Union. The health implications are concerning. Research indicates that Roundup can cause liver and kidney damage in rats, with changes in the functions of 4,000 genes at just 0.05 ppb of glyphosate. Even more alarming, studies have found that levels as low as 10 ppb can have toxic effects on fish livers, and 700 ppb can cause significant damage to the livers and kidneys of rats. That's the allowable level in U.S. drinking water. Independent scientific evidence is now calling for a much lower acceptable daily intake, 12 times lower than the current level in Europe and 70 times lower than what's allowed by the Environmental Protection Agency in the United States. This is based on findings that harm to human health could begin at just 0.1 ppb of glyphosate. Here's another troubling fact. Glyphosate contamination cannot be removed by washing, and it's not broken down by cooking or baking. Residues can remain stable in food for a year or more, even if frozen or processed. Now let's take a step back and look at the history of glyphosate. It was first patented in 1964 as a chelator for removing mineral deposits from metal pipes. Monsanto later discovered its weed-killing properties and brought it to market in 1974. Today, generic glyphosate formulations are produced by at least 100 manufacturers and can be found in more than 750 products worldwide. Glyphosate doesn't just kill weeds, it binds to vital nutrients like iron, manganese, zinc, and boron in the soil, preventing plants from absorbing them. This could have serious implications for the nutritional value of the food we eat. In 2003, Monsanto applied for a patent regarding the potential antibiotic or antimicrobial activity of glyphosate. The patent, awarded in 2010, has raised concerns among scientists that low levels of glyphosate could have an antimicrobial effect, negatively impacting human health. Emerging evidence suggests that glyphosate can alter human and animal intestinal flora, leading to a harmful imbalance in the stomach's microbiome. This could result in a decrease in beneficial gut bacteria and an increase in more toxic or harmful bacteria. The use of glyphosate has skyrocketed since its introduction in 1974, with usage increasing more than 300-fold. This is largely due to the adoption of genetically engineered crops. In the past decade alone, more than 2.4 billion pounds of glyphosate have been applied to farmers' fields in the U.S. The U.S. Geological Survey has found glyphosate in more than 75% of rain and rainwater samples across the Midwest. This means that when farmers spray Roundup on their crops, the chemicals can run off into local water sources and even evaporate into the air, affecting communities far from the original source. The bottom line is that glyphosate is everywhere, in our food, in our water, and in our environment. The levels of exposure are alarming and the health risks are real. As consumers, we need to be informed and proactive. Eating organic, advocating for stricter regulations, and supporting further research are just a few of the steps we can take to protect ourselves and our families. This has been a BrightLearn video from BrightLearn.ai on the book Glyphosate, Unsafe on Any Plate, Food Testing Results and Scientific Reasons for Concern by Food Democracy Now! Visit BrightLearn.ai for more fascinating videos like this one, and visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.